everyone, welcome back to another episode of Stating the Obvious. And this time, we're going to hit you with the obscure mix-up. I'm going to start off the episode by stating something that is obvious to me. And that is that we have recently, in this podcast, passed our first year anniversary.
Honestly,
I'm pretty proud of
I'm
us.
proud of us.
Congratulations.
Yeah, good for us. Like there's like a ton of episodes out there that are like pretty funny. Some are just like but a lot of them are good. And I think we definitely
Okay.
improved. If you go back and
real
look at the
quick
very
question.
first ones,
Okay, fine.
like our improvement is very evident, I think.
Yeah, but real quick question: out of all the episodes, which one of you is your favorite? For you guys, you don't have to
I don't
name,
have, like,
you
a
don't have to
favorite.
say the name, but maybe just like a topic or a moment inside a podcast.
I know for sure. The very first time we played that game, I don't even remember what the game is called.
Spyfall.
Spyfall, yes.
Spyfall.
Not Spyfall. Not Spyfall. What the heck was that game?
What?
You have to like guess the
20
location.
questions?
Is that Spyfall?
Spyfall.
Yeah,
It's
Spyfall.
Spyfall.
Yeah. Oh, my-
Bro,
I
Tom
completely
is actually
forgot we did that.
addicted to Spyfall. Like every time we
I think
record a
that's such a good
podcast, he
segment.
always every time we record a podcast or we try to plan a podcast, he's like, "Yo, what about we do Spyfall this time?" And each time we're all just like, "No, this is stupid. We don't like this game." And then God he just really enjoys it.
Yep. Well, what about you, PJ? Any favorite segment or favorite topic?
Yeah.
Favorite
There were a couple ones. I will say so the debate one was definitely good. There was
when we're
also
doing like 100.
yeah,
like,
yeah,
ducks,
ducks.
horses.
so there was also one line by Jet. Ah, man, I forgot what it was. He was
Was
arguing to
very
know
memorable, I'm
about
sure.
Grapevine.
Oh, yeah.
About Grapevine. That one line, man. Oh, God. That was one of the best
I know
lines
what
of
it
the
is, but I'm
podcast.
not going to say it. I ain't
Yeah.
going to say it.
Yeah, you can only say it in the context. Like, if you took it out of
Yeah.
context, it would be a bit, like,
If I'm taking it out of context, this is
not
just
politically
terrible.
correct.
I have no
If you
idea what
want,
you're talking about.
Look, don't worry about it, Noah. If you want, listener, just go back, listen to a couple of the past few episodes. You'll stumble upon it. It's funny, okay? It's maybe a little messed up. You know what? I'm not gonna say it's funny. We're just gonna go with it's messed up. Okay, back to our regularly scheduled intro. Noah, why don't you say something obvious for us?
All right. Here's something obvious. Not being able to use running water, not being able to wash your hands, take a shower, wash your clothes, wash dishes, really do anything that involves any sort of faucet in your household. Not being able to do that, it sucks. It sucks a lot.
Big sucks.
I have no idea how people existed before we had internal plumbing. Like, I spent
Yeah.
1 week without the ability to like wash my hands or take a shower, and it was disgusting. Like I could feel like the filth and shit on my hands and my body, and I couldn't do anything about it. Like you put like hand sanitizer, but it's still there. You're just covering it up with like rubbing alcohol and shit, but it's still there on your hands. And then you realize that like before like 1700 or whatever, that's just how people lived.
This should be.
Disgusting.
It's a lesson to
Imagine-
everybody. Drip your
As-
faucets when it's going below freezing. Because no, you didn't drip your
Garbage.
faucets, right?
No, but honestly,
Yeah.
I'm not even sure if it would have helped. Like,
It definitely
it
would
would've
have helped.
helped.
It definitely would have helped.
It would have helped.
All right, fair
Yeah, that is the way to
I've
put
lived
it.
in
Okay,
Denver
look.
for the good majority of my life. It would help.
look, in my defense, my family has always made a point to live in warm places. You know, California, and then Texas, and then suddenly Texas hits us with like this like fucking like 8-degree, 6-degree weather. Like, what kind of bullshit is that?
It's the obscure
didn't sign up
mix-up.
for
You didn't
this.
see it coming.
Yeah, I didn't see it coming, which is
Yeah.
bullshit.
Unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. Cobb, why don't you also say something obvious for us? Maybe it's along the same lines.
Yeah, so just for a bit of context for everybody, if you didn't know, Texas was recently hit by a huge winter storm, and we had like record low temperatures, like something like 3 to 4 inches of snow, and it caused a lot of problems. And one of those problems was water, like Noah said. I didn't really experience that problem, but I experienced the other problem that Texas had, which was there was massive power outages. So my obvious fact is that, dude, we are actually like so dependent on power and electricity just to do like normal, the most basic things of all. Like most of the food that we eat relies on electricity because it has to be refrigerated. Like just temperature regulation in general. You need electricity for like heat and AC and stuff. I had to go without that for a week, and I was like, I basically just had to like stay in bed because it was so cold.
Wait, what did you eat for like that week? Because you can't cook anything, right?
No, so I mean mostly like non-perishables or
Cereal.
yeah, stuff like that. Or
Damn.
we would get food from out. So
Did
that was
people
about
actually?
it.
Was
What,
it?
you, like,
Did people
order or,
drive
like-
around
Yeah.
the?
Yeah, actually pretty much just Indian food from out Cal's restaurant. Yeah,
Really?
Oh, very
mostly.
nice.
Oh,
Very
very
nice.
nice.
Yeah. But for the that was only for a couple meals. Mostly it was just like non-perishables and stuff that you could eat without having to put in the fridge.
You
Damn.
gotta survive, you know. And Pranay, why don't you say something obvious for us?
I'll go ahead and do 2 facts. All you guys talking about winter
Ooh.
storms. As my first obvious fact is I am not in Texas, and although that is basically the normal temperature and atmosphere outside here, we do not have these problems because people are accustomed to living like this.
Okay,
No,
that is
well,
not true. That is not true.
Okay,
The reason why we had these problems is because Texas's politicians are a bunch of idiots and decide to like isolate our fucking power grid from the rest of the country.
I mean, that doesn't
So-
explain the water stuff. Like the
Yeah,
water stuff is
well-
just like Texas is designed to handle extreme heat, and like the Northeast is designed to handle extreme cold. But like the Northeast can't handle extreme heat, but like Texas can.
that
Like, there's also that
so-
aspect to it.
bad, bro.
Like, I'm
You know,
not saying
while
you're wrong.
while the rest of us were
Yeah.
down here experiencing like a little mini apocalypse, Renee just ran off to Pennsylvania like
Yeah.
a fucking bitch.
It was quite funny. Every day in our chat, each person would come with their own qualms about the day. They'd be like, "Bro, I haven't had electricity for 2 days. I haven't had running water for 3 days, or some shit." I'm just sitting here. I'm just like, "Man, that must suck."
Hey, is your uncle like Ted Cruz or something, man? Like, actually,
what? What do you mean?
I mean,
What-
I
what do you
think
mean,
I know where you
uncle?
get your ideas from now.
What ideas?
Never mind.
Oh
Never
Oh
my
my
mind. Never
god.
mind.
Okay, you know what, Pranay, just hit us with your second obvious fact. Unless
Alright,
you
my second
already hit
obvious
us with-
fact is not as significant. It's just the first birthday you celebrate is actually your second birthday. That was
What?
that was
True.
it.
Well,
That makes sense.
yeah,
No,
but I think
what?
you consider like your very first birthday, the day you are born, as 0, right?
Wait, what?
Instead of 1,
I mean,
you
I
consider
don't
it
know,
0.
man.
Like no, it's like your birthday is like a celebration of the day you're like it's like a
It's
commemoration.
an anniversary.
Yeah.
It's like an anniversary.
it's
so
like
I
you-
guess the regular
Ah.
rules don't
Yeah,
apply.
you
No,
don't,
because
you
but
don't
you
celebrate
also
your
went
first wedding
so-
anniversary on the day of your wedding. Like
No. Like, but you celebrate your. That's
it's
Nah,
It's
you're
no,
just
because-
bad, Pranay.
no. Because I'm whenever someone asks you
FF.
what your birthday is, you don't say, "Oh, I celebrate it like on this day." You say like it's on like the 2000 or like what my birthday is
What?
September 28, 2000.
Birth date is like its own separate thing.
yeah.
Wait,
So
Renee,
you
you're
think-
starting
wait,
at
which one
0.
is the
When
birth-
you're born, it's
wait.
at 0. And then it goes up by a couple months, which is like decimals.
No,
And
but
then
like
you
you
get to
don't,
1.
you don't start
Okay,
counting
okay.
like you don't say this is my 0th birthday.
That's the day
but
you were
Pranay,
born.
Pranay, look,
Wait,
Like
what?
that's counting like in CS. Like
Do
if
you not know
were
how
born-
what day 0
Pranay,
is?
look,
like-
your birthday
like you
can
say this is
fulfill
like when you
a
count
couple of
days. When you
functions,
count
all right?
days, you don't count 0, 1, 2, 3. You count 1, 2, 3.
Pranay, look,
Wait,
I
we
was
had
si-
the discussion before.
look,
Jit
shut up.
also
All right,
Jit
Pranay,
also
shut
brought
up,
this
Pranay,
up as
shut
well.
up.
And I think no one was on my side that time.
I swear to God, I'm gonna fucking come up to Pennsylvania and whip your ass.
Dude, no, I'll give you heat and water. Don't worry, I'll take good care of you.
You know, before you go on your spiel that destroys Pranay, no, I just want to say it's moments like these where I'm just like, oh, should I be advertising this podcast? But you know what? I think it's good comedy, so it's worth it. It's very much worth it. And
Oh
we'll
my
look back
God.
on this
Look.
as one of our favorite times of the episode, whatever. And if you want, you can comment your favorite time we ever did something interesting on this, or ever said something interesting on this podcast. But
Look.
know what? Please destroy Pranay.
Look,
I don't want.
Pranay, your birthday
Yeah.
is a celebration either of the fact that you were born, the day that you were born, or a celebration of having made it another year. So when you were born, you have not made it a year until your birth. That is the starting point of your life. and you're not celebrating your own birth when you're being born. Again, it's an anniversary, like this was said. You don't celebrate your wedding anniversary on the day of your wedding. Like, the founding fathers did not celebrate the 4th of July when they signed the Declaration of Independence, because that is the thing that we are celebrating. It makes no sense for you to say that you have a birthday when you're being born.
But I think you can celebrate a birthday, but the birthday itself is not a celebration.
What?
Like
What?
the fact,
That's
no,
like
saying
saying you can celebrate Thanksgiving,
like,
but
okay,
Thanksgiving itself is not a celebration.
No, so when you have a wedding, right? So when you have a wedding, you're celebrating like the wedding, and then you celebrate the wedding anniversary afterwards.
What?
Like,
But it's your first wedding anniversary.
But that is your wedding. Like,
Like, hold on.
You're saying a birthday is a celebration. You're saying a birthday
Renee.
is a celebration. I'm saying
Renee.
a celebration. It's just like a thing that
Renee.
has happened. Yeah.
Renee.
Yeah.
When someone is born, right?
Yeah.
Let's say they're 6 months into their life after they're born, right? You have like a
Yeah.
small little baby. Okay.
Yeah.
How many years old are they?
They're not years yet. They're just like a couple of seconds.
Well,
No. So if a baby is 6 months old,
Yeah.
how many years old are they? This is like simple, like
They're
mathematics.
just like half a year.
Half a year, right? That's
Yeah.
0.5.
Yeah.
So
that's
then anything
0.5.
previous to that would be 0.4, 0.3 going downwards, and then upwards 0.6, 0.7. So then once
Yeah.
they reached 12 months since they were born, then you're 0.8, 0.9, 1.
Yeah.
And then that's the full time
this is
after
what
which
I've
they
been
were
saying.
born,
You start at 0.
which is their first
Hey.
birthday.
It makes no sense for you to try and
But,
separate
like a
the idea
birthday-
of the birthday from the celebration itself. You're not born every
I mean,
year.
like, a
You're
lot of
born
people- a lot of
once,
people
and
don't.
then every year after that, you celebrate the fact that you are alive.
Okay.
Renee,
So I'm
you
just
just
saying
don't have a leg to
there's-
stand on
I'm
anymore.
just saying.
Prenay,
You
no,
were there- you
no,
were bo-
no,
there's the-
shut up.
there's-
You don't have
it's how
a
many
fact.
times your
You don't
birthday
have
has
an
occurred.
obvious, is neither obvious
It's how many
nor
times
is it
your
a
birthday
fact.
has occurred.
No, wrong.
Wait, actually,
Stupid.
okay. Actually,
Stop
if you search this
talking.
up, if you also search this up, like, I'm fairly sure a lot of people agree with me as well.
Those people are wrong. This is
Well,
factually
you know what?
incorrect,
I
Pranay.
have the majority, so boom. And in our society,
What
What
majority?
majority are you talking about?
I mean, what do you mean? What majority? Like,
Facts are not decided
Like,
by
this is-
the democratic vote. It's not a majority opinion. It's either true or it's not. And in your case, it's not true. It's not a fact. Stop talking.
our society is very flawed now,
Renee,
and
it's
I-
3-1. You're
I am
done. You're
seeping into this. I'm part
Can we
of
talk
this
about
flawed
more pressing
society.
issues like the snow that is still outside all of our houses except for you, Pranay?
I mean, Pranay probably has snow,
I mean,
honestly,
there's
too.
we still have plenty of snow.
Oh, you still have plenty of snow? Okay,
Yeah.
well, whatever. Then the snow outside of all of our houses, but mainly me, Cobb, and Noah's house. I built a
Right.
snowman.
So did I.
Oh, good for you.
It was like a child kind of snowman. It had a carrot for its nose. Had
It wasn't that,
olives
like-
for its eyes.
The snow itself wasn't that conducive to making snowman.
Yeah,
It was like kind
really
of dry and
not.
like powdery instead of like
It was
wet and sticks
so
together.
powdery.
Yeah.
It was a struggle. I'll tell you that much. But we did it.
I did not make a
I was-
snowman. I
I
could
was
not
fortunate
afford to
enough
waste
that
snow
I
on
drew my
such
tap, so I was able
frivolous
to have water
efforts.
and
I had
stuff.
to conserve snow as a source of water.
Yeah, honestly, they were telling people to like take snow and like melt it and boil it and then drink it if you need to.
Yep.
Like, that's kind of insane.
I swear to God, dude, my swimming pool froze over, and every day we had to go out there. What? You're what?
Jith, you dying?
Yeah, I think he has perished.
Rip.
Oh, hello. I have returned. We were having a little bit of technical difficulties, but we were back. What was your question?
You were about to say something, so okay, Noah, just go.
All right, whatever. Yeah, no, my swimming pool froze over, and every day we had to go out and like break the ice to like get like buckets of water from the pool for use in the house. And dude, it was like I felt like a fucking Eskimo. It was like 2 inches of ice. Like it was thick, man. Like I had to use a hammer to break it.
You know, like the igloos that like actual Eskimos use. If you go inside, it's like 70 or 80 degrees inside their like the igloos.
Yeah. Should have made an igloo cob. So snowman.
Well, I mean, you also need the fire to make it warm, but
Why does that work? Why is it like warm?
it's just like the heat just keeps bouncing off the walls, and like
Yeah, it's like insulation.
yeah, and like it doesn't melt.
With ice?
It doesn't
With
melt.
like freezing cold like ice?
Yeah, because it doesn't. It like warms up the ice like out like the
Why doesn't the ice
layer.
just melt?
Yeah, I'm explaining that right now. Like
Oops.
the innermost layer melts, but then it refreezes because there's constantly more like ice coming down on it.
Oh. Oh.
So like it's this constant cycle of melting and refreezing.
That's a large brain. My God.
That is insanely large
Interesting.
brain. That
Honestly,
is why
I
they
have
survived.
no idea why anybody would want to like live in those conditions. Like, I'm not saying that like they chose like to like that sort of
people
like
do.
environment. I mean, some people do, but like for the most part, like people don't. They're just sort of born into it. But like, could you imagine just like waking up like from the day you were born, every day, like living in like sub-zero temperatures with like no heating or anything like that?
Yeah, that would actually like I don't know. I couldn't do that cold. I don't think I could.
I would die.
Yeah, I mean they have a bunch of methods that they've developed to like stay warm and stuff, but like it's a constant struggle just to stay alive there. Like you're constantly worrying about it, but yeah, like I mean over here and stuff, like the temperature is like moderate enough where you're like not constantly worrying about like dying because of the temperature outside. Yeah, I mean
It's nice. It's nice. A question I've always wondered about is like whether you'd pick like if you had to be like either on the extreme end of heat or like cold, which one you'd
I don't know
prefer.
if I was like dying to extreme heat or extreme cold. Is that the
It's
question?
like it's the maximum extreme to the point where you're not dead, but like
Like either
you're
Antarctica or the Sahara, basically.
yeah, basically.
No, and it's not. It's
if I
not
was
like
about to die, I'd pick
living
extreme
normally there?
cold. But if I was like living in it, probably like warm, extreme warm.
Extreme heat.
Yeah.
Extreme heat, no question. Like,
Renee?
I think living cold and then dying.
What?
Uh,
where did this dying part come from?
I don't know. Cobb just brought it
Well,
up.
I'm
so
just
I'm
saying.
just
Well,
doing
if you're
his
gonna
dichotomy.
die, then it doesn't really
Like
matter.
no, the
You're
dying. The question about dying is like, would you
It is,
rather
like,
die
which
by
would
like
you do? Which
freezing
would
or
you
like
die
Like, would you
faster?
rather just exist in like an extreme, like you're not gonna just straight up die if you're there, but like, would you rather exist in an extremely hot climate or extremely cold climate?
hot?
Yeah, I think I'd rather exist in extremely cold.
Okay, what are like your reasonings? Noah's gonna give me some reasoning for why you picked hot.
Yeah, well, I mean, I don't know if this happens to anybody else, but when I'm like in a really hot area, like hot cars are where I usually experience this. Like when it gets to like a certain point, like I'll get like almost like a second wind, like I'll just get like a full body tingle, and like I won't feel like my skin will feel like hot to the touch, but I won't feel hot. It'll actually feel like really nice, like really relaxing. And I don't know if that's like the first symptom of heat stroke or something, but it's actually pretty nice.
I have a very similar reason, but kind of opposite. I just like the feel of like cold air, especially like in the night times. I especially like going in from like inside like a warm house to like outside to the cold. I feel like that feels very nice to me.
Yeah, I'm with Renee on this one.
I can't stand the cold.
Yeah, I
Like
don't like
it hurts,
cold.
man.
Well, see, my logic is right. Like, if it gets really, really hot, then once you strip yourself of all your clothes, like it's still gonna just be super hot, and there's nothing you can do. But when it's like really, really cold, you can just like stack like giga layers,
Yeah. Also, like I think it's easier to play sports in cold than it is hot.
and you
I
can
mean-
just like run around and like generate body heat.
Yeah,
but, like
to be fair, there's a limit. Like if it's fucking like negative 50 degrees, you can't. Like obviously, you can't really be outside, or else you die.
you'll just die.
But,
Yeah,
but like if it's even if it's like around the 20s, if I bundle up like a little bit and still am playing, that shouldn't be too bad.
Yeah, but like energy is so much more valuable when it's cold than when it's hot because like it just takes so much more work to do things in the cold.
Yeah, I feel like that's pretty true, honestly.
I can't really argue with that logic, but it's like with the heat, what you just like lie down and just like
You just die. You just they'd be like, kill me.
I mean, the condition on this scenario was you don't die.
is you don't die,
So-
but like
Okay, you want to die. That's what's.
Like
Yeah,
you could also like pour water all over yourself, or like do the different things like that to cool you down.
Water all over.
Like I don't know, like
What?
whenever I do like work outside in the summer, like and it's like really hot, like yeah, after a certain point, like it'll be uncomfortable, but like I can just step into the shade or something. But when I was like outside, like clearing snow and ice and shit, like in the past week, like there was just like always this kind of like constant knowledge that like the more sort of like cold I got, like it would be really difficult to warm myself back up because like I'm Mhm. bundled up in all these layers and that's like insulating, but that also means that like when I get cold, it's like I can't just like step inside. Like I would have to like basically like go through the whole process of taking off all those layers and shit. And
and then reheating.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Also,
Or
if you
you could
Yeah.
just
another thing is in the cold, if you get wet, like you're pretty
oh
much
yeah,
dead.
you're dead. Yeah.
But if in like the extreme heat, if you get wet somehow, like you're okay.
I mean that's actually a benefit.
Yeah.
What if you just dry
yeah,
up
probably.
to death? Yeah, I
Well, I
will
mean,
say
the-
though, like the one hassle in the cold is like putting on layers and taking off layers. Like that is the one hassle.
Well, you know what? Let me just say this: is I know since quarantine and all, we have to wear masks. But like when I put on a mask when outside, I was like, "This is nice. Like my face feels nicer with this mask."
Oh
on."
yeah,
Like,
definitely. Hard agree.
it was a big benefit, honestly.
Only downside was it fogged up my glasses just real hard. I
Yeah,
could not
it's-
see at all.
You should get one of the ones with like the bendable nose grip or whatever. So
Okay, wow.
You can-
Look at you, Mr. Fancy, with your bendable
they're
nose
literally
grip
like
masks.
cotton. They're like $2.
Oh wow!
Like what?
Lottie.com.
I bought it on Amazon.
masks. Wow, I'm sure you get them imported
It's
from
on, it's
Egypt
on
too.
Amazon. No, wait, you can just buy it,
Oh.
have it in 2 days, Prime shipping.
Wow, you
bitch.
have Amazon Prime. You high.
You have
class
Amazon
bitch.
Prime. I
You
know
can't-
you're the one who told me to get Amazon Prime
can't
like so
prove
many
that.
years ago.
You
You're like,
can't-
it's so good. Oh my god, my package is here so
Lies,
immediately. Like
lies,
it's
fake
great.
news, lies. I'm poor and you can't prove otherwise.
What?
Okay.
You traveled everywhere for debate tournaments.
That
How'd you
was,
pay for food? How'd you pay for all the shit that you did?
I didn't.
The school did.
Exactly.
They did not pay for our food.
I didn't
We
eat.
gave him a stipend.
Speaking of traveling, Cancun cruise, guys.
Yes.
Our
Yeah.
valuable state senator here in
Lion
Texas.
Ted. Just gotta love him. You're just such a great guy.
My personal favorite is Fled Cruise.
Yes.
Yeah, but wow. And meanwhile, AOC has raised like what $3 million for just Texas, and is like volunteering at like a food bank situation in Houston,
God.
something like that. No relation to Texas, by the way. But meanwhile, our senator is like, "Oh, I was just taking my daughters."
Just being a good
This
dad,
switches
you
his
know.
flight ticket from Sunday to what, the next day or whatever.
Yeah.
But it was so clear that he just wasn't like, why can't he just man up and admit it? Like, I'd actually respect him if he's just like, "Yeah, I was leaving," but
Like honestly,
mean,
I
yeah.
think
not anymore.
I think it'd be like kind of respectable to be like, look, my family was in this thing with no heat. We didn't have anywhere to go. We were doing this. If he just came out and said it, I'd be like, okay,
I mean,
okay, fine.
Like honestly,
it's still
that's
like
what
it's still
uh,
like not the greatest move, but like okay, fine. Like I can understand it at that point.
yeah.
like, that's exactly
Well, I mean-
what Trump would do though. Like he would just be like, "Yo, I got money. I'm getting the hell out of there." And like, you know what? It's kind of scummy, but he's not like he's not
Well,
wrong.
It's just he wasn't upfront about it, right? Like if you have the means to help your family not be like cold, without power, without food, and you can just like go to like where did you go? Cancun, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So like if you have the means to do that, like I mean, like if I was in the same situation, I had the means to do that, like I probably would. But like if I was also the senator of the state, I'd be like upfront about it
Or like maybe send them, but then you stay behind.
and then
Yeah.
stay,
Yeah.
right? Like
I don't know. It's just so fucking like tone deaf. I
Yeah.
don't know, man.
Like it's like if you have I read this online somewhere. It's like if you have a sandwich and you're in front of like 100 like starving homeless people, like giving them your sandwich isn't gonna feed everybody. They're still gonna like all be starving. But like eating the sandwich in front of them is still like not the greatest move.
Oh man, that reminds me. I was watching like old John Oliver episodes, and he did a bit on President Maduro from Venezuela. And there's that part where he just goes like absolutely just goes ham on the sandwich and like on like national television while everybody's starving.
Yeah, I think I've seen that clip.
Classic.
Yeah,
I haven't
it's
seen
literally like the exact scenario you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah, this was just like a real dumbass move. Like I don't understand what the point is of having like a deregulated power grid. Like I'm sure there's like some marginal benefit. Like I'm sure like power is like slightly cheaper in Texas as opposed to like I don't
Bro.
know like Pennsylvania. But like honestly, is it that much of a problem? Like is it that
Like,
much of a problem?
Here's the thing. Here's like their defense of it is like events like these happen like once every 10 years. Right? The last time we had an event like this was like 2011. So like if you're only going to use it once every 10 years, is that like profit that you're saving or like the money that you're saving on like electrical costs worth it?
I mean, like
Not when like 25 people die.
One thing I will say, I think my dad told me. I'm not 100% sure what the actual numbers were, but I think in Texas over the past couple of days, like the number of water pipes that burst was more than all of the U.S. in 2020.
I mean,
Like,
I
probably-
believe that. Like the
probably.
water damage is going to be insane.
Yeah, but water
Yeah,
water
people's
has like
houses were
literally nothing
flooded.
to do with the grid. Like even if we were on the connected grid, all the water stuff would happen.
Oh, yeah. Well, I don't know. I think part of it was because like people's pipes like froze because their homes and their buildings weren't heated.
True, true.
Yeah, like I saw like some photos of people and like they literally just have like ice just like floor to ceiling, just icicles and shit because the pipes froze, the water expanded and it burst. And I don't think that would have happened if they had power because the building would still be heated.
But if it's on an exterior wall, it wouldn't matter.
Well, yeah, but like if it's like on the outside, that's not as bad, right? Like I would much rather have a pipe burst like outside on the sidewalk.
No. Like if it's in an exterior wall, like if I have like in a bathroom, right, and one of the walls on the bathroom, like where the sink is on the wall that's on the other side's the outside. The pipe runs through an exterior wall. Right? It's not outside, it's just running through an exterior wall, which means it's still getting exposed to the outside.
Yeah, I mean, like, okay, I'm not saying, like...
Yeah, it would have been better.
The
It would have been better
water
with
line-
power. But, like, I still think a lot of the problems would have happened.
But, like, also, like, you have, like, all those cases of, like, people, like, literally dying because they were, like, doing things like using their car to heat their garage, which, like,
Oh my
you know,
god.
dumb
man.
decision,
I
but,
don't-
like, also, like, I guess is kind of understandable.
I mean, they didn't know.
Yeah.
It just makes me, I guess, sad that they didn't know, right? Like,
Yeah.
you can call them an idiot, like call them stupid, whatever. But like, it's just sad. Really, it's just sad.
And like at some point, it's kind of like, well, what other options do they have? Like, you have like no power, no electricity, like you can't really build a fire, not like in most suburban areas. So
And it's like,
yeah,
yeah. Even if you wanted to open your garage, like without power, some people can't even open their garages.
yeah.
Well, that's just
And
that's not true. Every garage
I mean,
has
you
like
can
a,
manually
yeah,
do it,
you can,
but
you
like
can manually open it.
Then you have to go outside, and you're just like,
you have to go all the way to the outside. Kind of defeats the purpose of like warming yourself up if you have no power, right?
And also, like if you got like a bunch of snow outside your garage, or I don't know, like that shit might be frozen.
Yeah.
True.
Like, I don't know. It's just
It's
there are some things that are unavoidable, but like a lot of the situation could have been like handled better all around.
I mean, just the mere
By, like,
fact that like this doesn't
government.
happen every year, every winter in basically any other state, just shows that like something in Texas is seriously fucked up.
Well, doesn't Texas like some part of Texas want to like secede, be its own country?
Oh yeah,
Wait, a part of
Dude,
Texas
Van
wants to
Derven was
go.
That's
going
why
on
they
about that.
probably. That's why some of the power was, or like why they decided like. At least it was part of the reason why they decided they didn't want their power to be regulated by
it's fucking dumb.
Fed.
Like
Gov.
honestly, if we ever get to the point where Texas is trying to secede from the union, like I think the power grid would probably be like on like very low on our list of priorities.
Yeah.
yeah.
Well, if that happens, I'm just skirting to.
I mean, I don't think that'll ever happen. Like
Yeah,
I
I
highly,
mean, like-
highly doubt it.
And like honestly, like what's the use of electricity? Like
Yeah.
Texas tries to secede again. We try to go like Civil War 2.0. Texas is getting nuked. Like you can't use electricity if you're nuked.
Well, I don't think they're going to nuke Texas,
Yeah, I don't-
but
Nah.
you know,
I'm telling you right now, the U.S. is like 2,000 something odd like nuclear warheads. You have something like a full-on Civil War 2.0.
yeah, but it's too
Those
close to the
nukes are
actual United
going.
States. What about all the places that surround Texas that are still part of the United States?
Okay, like what? Oklahoma?
I can't argue with you there, no, but
I'm just saying, man.
What if Trump
gotta imagine.
runs for governor of Texas
Till-
and he wins?
I'd vote for him and then I'd move. Okay.
Just be like, fuck Texas, I'm at.
Oh, man.
Yeah, I will say one thing in Texas's favor, though. I remember the first time I went to CMU to visit, I came back and I went to the Houston airport for some reason because there's some connecting flight because it was like cheaper in some sense. And then like I got into the Houston, for some reason I was feeling a bit off. And then I got into the Houston airport and there's just a man in the side just playing a guitar and a bunch of people just singing around him. And I was like, man, this is so nice. Just to be able to just go land into a random airport. There's people playing guitars. There's people
Okay,
fucking
but the
like
GOP
dancing
didn't
and singing.
do that.
Yeah,
Like
yeah, that's
guitar people are not created by federal deregulation. I hope you understand that.
I mean, I do understand that, but guitars.
All right, buddy. Whatever makes
Like
you happy.
that's just like Southern hospitality, right? That's just like the
Yeah,
people.
that's what I was gonna say. Like idea of Southern hospitality, I never realized was actually like a legitimate thing until, like, I saw Smith, for example, and then I also just landed in that Houston airport, and then just people just like you know like those elderly Southerners who are female, so they could be your grandmother, and they always say like darling all the time, man. That's just so nice.
I like how
Okay.
instead of saying old Southern women, Renee says elderly Southerners that are female.
It's just... That's true. That's hilarious, actually.
Well, that is how I speak.
That is how he speaks, I know.
That is my
I
lexicon.
started speaking like that too, so I can personally attest to it.
It's a terrible condition.
Yep.
Quite tragic.
Yeah, indeed it is. You know, it's been a while, but I feel like we should still talk about it. Super Bowl. Lots of things to unpack here, if we're being honest. I believe it was the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Patriots.
The Buccaneers.
No, sorry, not the Patriots, but it
Patriots.
might have well been, dude. Like I swear, all the members they're just like skirt Buccaneers. So
Yeah, that is
you
what it
got
was.
Tom Brady.
I'll
I
be
mean,
honest.
You got
Wait,
Gronk.
is
people hate
are
on
the
it.
Buccaneers a new team?
No.
No,
No,
what?
what the?
They
No,
just-
they've been there forever. They've been there
What
for
the
so
hell? I've
long.
never heard of them before.
The Tampa Bay Bucks.
Yeah, I've
They've
never
been
heard
there
of them
for
before.
like a long, long time.
What? Okay.
Like, okay, look.
Yeah, no,
I
they've been
I
around.
know a few teams like Bills, Chiefs, Patriots, Packers, 49ers,
Cowboys.
Giants, Cowboys,
Texans.
Jets. That's about it.
Okay.
Yeah, well, you're missing a couple, but whatever. Anyway, Buccaneers kind of dominated that whole game.
They kind of rolled
Yeah.
it, man.
Yeah, it's
I mean, people
That's like a
people hate on Tom Brady because he's so good.
fuck Tom Brady, man. Hate that guy.
Like
Old
he's
is he?
Legit hate him.
he's undeniably
He's-
the best.
He's just corrupt.
He's just
Wait, is he like 50 something?
He's corrupt, man.
He's like
he's
40
probably
something.
40
Yeah.
Look, let me
yeah.
just say that Super Bowl, it was not QB diff, dude. It was the rest of the
Ref
team
diff.
diff.
Team Diff, FF15.
And man, if it wasn't ref diff, man, I don't know what it was. The referees, like these penalties that they were calling, it just blows my mind that like it was not. It was crazy to me because at the beginning they made a whole show of like, oh, we're gonna have the first female like referee be like the head situation, whatever, something like that, right? They introduced like the
Yeah,
female referee,
yeah.
and then they proceeded to make the worst calls I've ever seen in like the entirety of Super Bowls.
I mean,
Also,
even,
like the
even without the
offensive
calls,
line,
they
the
would've
offensive,
won.
yeah. Also, like the offensive line of the Chiefs is just doing complete shit. Like the receivers weren't catching. Mahomes was throwing like these legendary passes, and they're just like, "Oh,
Dude,
wait,
I
you threw a
see
pass
it.
to me?"
Dude, it was everything but QB diff. Like Tom Brady did not gaff him, man.
I have no idea what's going on. I did not watch the Super Bowl.
I mean,
I'll be
some
honest.
of those passes to Gronk were kind of unbelievable.
He's Deflategate. That's all I gotta say.
That wasn't even this Super Bowl.
Nah, Tom Brady's degenerate.
I mean,
Just a degenerate.
Bro, I promise you. Listen to me, guys. Listen. I promise to you guys, if Tom Brady were to play League, he'd play like Timo or some shit. He'd be the most answer motherfucking character in the entire goddamn
I will
game.
say,
Promise.
when you do have Team on your team and you're trying to take drag, it's the best thing in the world because by the time they get to you, they're all half health. Because they just stepped on a million shrooms. It's quite nice.
Dude, it's so disgusting. He only in every single role he just played the most degenerate champions, man.
Jith, I want to know
Yeah.
what you thought of the halftime show, though.
Dude, I had such high hopes for the weekend, man. Like, I actually I like his music so much. It's just, man, that was so disappointing. I thought the memes were amazing though. From when he ran inside the golden thing, people made so many memes. I live for those memes, but overall the show kind of sucked.
I mean,
if
I
I'm
don't
being
know
honest.
about you. I mean, like, I don't know too much about him or anything, but he kind of feels like he's trying to rip off Michael Jackson. That's all I'm saying.
I can see that. I can
Like,
understand
he
why
kind
you
of
think
just
that.
feels
That's a
like he's
good
trying
guy
to take his
rip off,
style.
because I mean, that's
Oh,
a
with,
good
like, the
style
red
to
jacket
copy
and
because
It's
stuff?
like his dance moves and stuff too. It kind of just looked like he was trying to imitate him in some way.
Yeah, I mean why?
yeah, like,
Yeah,
I think
yeah,
imitating Michael Jackson is a good way to go.
Yeah, like Michael Jackson's Michael Jackson.
So
so.
fucking Michael Jackson, but
Yeah, I'm just saying that's the kind of vibes I got from the show.
yeah, no. I mean, I definitely can see why you think that, but I like his music for
what
sure.
was the whole like face thing? The whole everybody
Oh,
was
that's
bandaged.
just like a thing he's doing for like is how he was like promoting like one of his albums, and it was just like a thing that he was doing where like his face was like deformed and then or not deformed but like messed up in some way with bandages, and then in one of like his most recent music videos he had like plastic surgery. His face looked crazy.
Is that the thing where
Legit
he
just-
looked like Squidward? Like the Squidward
Yeah,
thing?
where he looked like Squidward,
alright,
yeah.
got it.
I feel like I'm missing out on a lot of context.
I think so, Noah.
It's okay, Noah. All you have to know is the Super Bowl sucked. It's all corrupt. They paid off the refs.
Yep.
Like, no worries.
I'll be honest, I forgot that there was a Super Bowl going on until like somebody said something in the chat, and I checked. And I was like, "Oh damn, Chiefs are getting dominated," and then I didn't check again.
Well, the Buccaneers
yeah.
steamrolled them.
Well, let's be honest. Do any of us really watch the Super Bowl for the football, or are we just there for the ads?
I didn't think they were that great this year. Just
I
to
thought,
say.
well, some of the concepts behind the ads were interesting. Like, there was that Inspiration 4 thing that
Yeah.
was about taking citizens to space.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. So, I guess I'll explain this one. So, SpaceX announced during the Super Bowl that by like December of this year, they're going to launch this ship called Inspiration 4. And basically, what it is like it's the first commercial space flight. So, you have an actual astronaut who's like controlling the ship and doing all the important stuff. And the rest of the seats are you can buy. They're for regular civilians. Anybody can pay for them. Obviously, you'll go through this training course, but you just go around the Earth a couple times. You're not going anywhere. You're not going to the moon. You're not going to Mars. You're not doing any actual work. You're just going to see space, and then you come back down. But it's still pretty cool that like this year, commercial space travel is starting.
I don't know. I feel like
Do you
people
know how
have been
much
like
it
kind of
costs?
touting commercial space travel for a while. Like there was that whole what was it, like Spaceship One thing?
The whole
Really?
Virgin Galactic thing, right?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
But
I
like,
mean, like-
this is actually happening. This is
I mean,
they've
yeah,
already
I
like
mean,
said.
I don't deny that they'll do one flight, but like I don't really see this as like, you know, really go like I think it's more of a publicity stunt than anything.
No, I don't think so. I think it's like, you know how like I guess like rich people back in the day they like had a car, right? And like that was like it was like insanely expensive to have a car. And, like even if you only took it out once or twice, you would just do it to flaunt your wealth. I think it's kind of like this 21st century like I don't know analog of that where like
yeah, I mean, I
all
also
the rich
think
people will just go
Yeah.
to
there's
space
a lot
just
of
to
people
go.
there are a lot of people who want to go to space, and a lot of them are rich people, and a lot of them are willing to pay. Like it's definitely a childhood dream of like many people.
I don't know. Like way I see it, I can see like maybe a few flights getting fulfilled, but I don't think like there's like more than a couple hundred people that like are like able to pay B, willing to go, C, physically capable of like undergoing space flight.
Yeah.
Well,
Like,
like
you know,
a couple of hundred's all they need
and-
because you can
and,
only put like 6 people on a spaceship, and like one of them's for the pilot. So
That's
like-
fair.
Wait,
But,
do you know
then,
how?
like,
Did they
also,
say how
like,
expensive this
you
is?
have to think, like, you know, it would only take like one rocket going kabloom, and like, you know, suddenly you have like
Yeah.
the next Hindenburg.
They didn't Pranay, by the way. They didn't say.
Oh, okay.
But yeah, basically, like it would put the entire industry about like taking like regular people to space so far behind if like something were to go wrong and like you'd get like Titanic type situation.
I mean, that's the risk
On
you're
one of these
taking. You're
spaceships.
literally doing the riskiest thing that humanity has ever done.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if SpaceX has been anything, they've been fairly consistent. Like, and
Still,
What about
most of the things
Cybertruck?
that they say.
Like,
Okay, well, that's not a SpaceX thing.
It's like an Elon Musk thing.
I don't know. Like, I just think it's going a little bit far to call this like the beginning of like commercial space flight, because like really it's just limited space tourism. Like, there's no real reason to go out into space right now if you're just like a regular, like not even a regular person, just like even like a fairly wealthy person. There's just no reason to go into space other than for the novelty of it. It's like climbing Mount Everest or something like that.
Well,
I feel there's a lot of people who just like, there's a lot of people who have money and they want to spend money, and like a lot of people could climb Mount Everest, and just because they're wealthy, they can just pay a bunch of like
well,
Sherpa
a lot
people.
of people could try to climb Mount Everest. Lots of people dying trying to get up there.
Yeah, no, but
You'd be surprised.
I forgot who I was talking about. I was searching up like how many people climb Mount Everest. Maybe I think it was with you, Jith. But
I think it was with you.
yeah, we were searching at how many people climb Mount Everest, and there's surprisingly a lot of people, and like, it's mostly just like people, like rich people, and then they have like a bunch of like Sherpa people come with them, and then they just do all the hard work and like moving the equipment from one side to the other, and they just like sit and chill.
but like
until-
even then,
Yeah, they
until
just,
the
like,
next
walk.
destination.
going to Mount Everest is like pretty intensive on the body, and like you gotta do work,
Oh
right?
yeah,
You
well,
have to
not,
train.
Not,
Like,
you can't just
old,
go,
It's
like,
not
it
just
can't
like
be
old
your
people
first
just running
climb.
up and down.
Yeah, but like I feel like going to space takes a lot less work because you don't have to be like you're not doing any work.
I
You're
don't know
just
about
you're
that.
literally just along for the
Like,
ride.
Like, you're getting put under like what, like 9-10 G's, like
Yeah, like okay,
Yeah,
you have to be
astronauts
like fit.
train for months in like swimming
Yeah,
pools
you have
and
to be
shit
like
before.
Wait, but that's also to like actually
But
do
yeah,
work
they also,
in space.
Yeah, they also stay there for extended amount of time.
Yeah, and they're doing work. These guys are literally just sitting in the seat and letting the actual astronaut do everything.
okay, but like, you know, the actual astronaut isn't gonna be doing a lot. It's not like they actually fly the rocket. Like, most of that shit's automated. Like,
True, but if
like,
anything
like,
goes
you just
wrong,
have to be
he's
like,
in charge.
I know, but like you have to be like physically fit enough not to like just like black out like while the rocket's accelerating.
Yeah, but that's like you can't really change that much. That's like a lot to do with age, right?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like,
Well,
most
it's
rich people
also-
are pretty fucking old.
They also have kids and stuff. Like
Nobody gives a shit about those.
Those, by the way,
I hate them
not them. Those.
the rich people would care about their kids.
Eh,
I don't
fuck
know.
their
I just
kids.
think it's
Say
cool.
though.
I just think it's cool that they're sending regular people into space now.
Yeah, I mean it's cool. Maybe it is
Quote-unquote
the start of
regular
something
people.
really insane, or maybe it's just like Noah says, it's nothing.
Either way,
I know.
it's pretty cool.
Personally, I'm way more hyped for Perseverance and commercial space tourism.
Yeah, I mean that's pretty cool also. But like,
Dude, it's a
they,
fucking helicopter on Mars. What is there not to like about that?
didn't like NASA say that they want to like do a moon colony by the end of the decade and
I'm
like
so
the
fucked.
first person on Mars in like 20
It's,
years or something?
Yeah, sure.
Isn't that the
Can
rule?
I just say, I thought Jacob said, didn't NASA say that they could to be on Mars for whatever 20 years? I was
Yeah,
just
they're
like,
just,
oh my
he's
god.
just building his stacks. He's gonna get to the moon.
Oh my god.
To the moon.
Dude.
Wait, I thought the Mars thing from NASA was 2024. Maybe I'm.
I don't know.
high.
Maybe it's closer. I don't
I
know.
have no idea.
but-
I mean, they've been saying that they're gonna go to Mars in like the next decade for a while.
Oh yeah, it says SpaceX's first crewed Mars mission could launch as early as 2024. I mean, like they say that, but honestly, it's probably gonna be a bit later.
yeah.
But
Like honestly, I think they have to like have some sort of colony on Mars or the moon before they can really do Mars.
have you guys watched one of the Kyrgyzstan videos about like the moon base.
We always talk about this. And holy
wait,
shit,
it's been a
Renee.
long time since we
You
talked about
Karma
Kyrgyzstan.
bring them up. No, don't even lie to me.
What have you done? I remember the last time we brought it up was that one time I like misspelled it or some shit. And
No, you bring us up like every episode.
okay, well they have a really good video about a moon base and why it would be kind of OP. You should check that out.
Dude, are we
You and all
advertising
the
our own
listeners.
podcast or are we advertising their YouTube channel?
We can do both at the same time.
I feel like if out of things Renee has advertised, he's advertised his YouTube channel way more than he has advertised this podcast.
True.
Yo, leave a comment. Just leave a comment if you like Kyrgyzstan.
Dude, that's not even. It's Kurzgesagt. How many times I have to tell you?
Kyrgyzstan. Yo,
You're
I'm not
talking
German.
about
I'm not German.
Kyrgyzstan.
I can't say these things.
It's not even
Noah
hard,
kind of
dude.
flamed you last time.
Like, dude, German, it's like literally one of the easiest languages to pronounce. Like, you have no
Actually.
silent letters. Every time you pronounce a letter, you pronounce it exactly the same as the last time.
Yo, Noah.
That's
Yo,
interesting.
Noah.
I actually did not know that.
After we all graduate and we take like some graduation trip, and if we go to Germany, will you be able to communicate with all the people?
Oh fuck no, dude! I haven't practiced German in like a
Yeah,
year.
we can go to France. They'll do the French. No, we'll go to Germany. We'll do the.
I could probably
we'll do
say
the
like
German there.
We go to
uh,
Spain. I can handle some Spanish.
I could probably say like
what are you
where's the
gonna do,
bathroom
Cobb?
and like how much is it for this doner kebab, but that's about it.
You can also say that one thing you said in French. I forgot what it was. Like be the differential equation.
What?
The bread meat.
Okay. We need some context here because
Oh yeah. So I'm TA. So I TA this class, right? It's a differential equations class, and on Thursday I have my office hours from 8 to 10. And usually the homework is due on Friday, so usually I do get quite a few people. But this time the homework is due on Monday. And so I'm just sitting there all alone in the Zoom call, and then Puck and Noah are just like, you want to play League? I'm just like, I can't, I'm in office hours. And then they're like, send the Zoom link. So I'm just like, okay, sure. So I send the Zoom link. No one did end up coming. If someone did, I don't know what I would have done. That would be kind of weird, because I was also just like streaming League YouTube videos, so that'd be kind of interesting if someone were to join, but no one eventually did. And eventually, Noah just said some random thing. I forgot what it was. And we're talking
it was like
about French.
I don't know, like you were like on some shit. You were talking like French or like you were talking like some weird French shit, and I just typed in chat like "Parlez-vous le professeur?" like
yeah.
differential
Le
equations,
baguette-moi.
le baguette-moi or something like shit like that. I don't know, it was really dumb.
If you translate it to English, it's actually so fucking funny, especially le baguette-moi at the end. Oh
What?
man.
What
Well,
was
are you
it?
gonna translate it for us?
Yeah, it's just like parlez-vous is like, can you speak the differential equations, the professor, the bread me, the baguette me.
Hilarious. Absolutely hilarious.
Well,
I feel like if you didn't
if you took
perma
French-
stutter in that sentence, it would have been funny.
if
Yeah.
you took French also, it would be funnier. Like Puck and I both took French, and we like obviously if you know what it's supposed to be, it's a bit funny.
Yeah, obviously.
I mean, I don't know.
Hey, but we're doing the senior trip, right, guys?
Probably. I mean,
Or is-
Yeah, sure.
Not
Depending.
senior trip, but like,
I don't know if we get
graduate.
out.
Like, that's just the world hasn't ended by then. Like,
or I want to do some trip at some point for whatever the fucking reason is. I don't care what the reason is.
I mean, I don't know,
We're
man.
going somewhere. I'm dragging Noah with me. I drag Noah to all our debate tournaments.
You're actually
Noah
into this
would probably
podcast.
drag me around, but we'd all end up somewhere.
Yep.
Anyway, PJ, you
know,
said you were TAing a class, right?
Yeah, it's actually been pretty interesting experience because like also I don't know, you guys don't call it recitations. Do you guys call it recitations?
No, I don't
You
even
know
know
what
what that is.
recitation is?
No.
Yeah, apparently Puck like UT calls it discussion classes or something like that.
Oh yeah, like those like little groups. Yeah, we call those discussion groups at JW.
Yeah,
Interesting.
discussion-based
so, like,
classes or
for us,
whatever.
we,
Yeah.
we have like lectures and recitations, and then seminars are a different type of class. But like lectures are like for most math classes, for example, like differential equations math class. You have a lecture where the professor goes over content and stuff. Then you have recitation where it's pretty much a TA goes over stuff you covered in the week and then do example problems with everyone as well. So like that's what I lead, and it's been
Ooh,
interesting.
very
Like
nice.
it's been interesting like preparing like recitations and seeing like what problems I want to go over, and then also what I've defaulted to now as like my teaching style. I kind of like it quite a bit, I will say. Well, I think I've developed a little bit more over the past 3
Are you gonna
weeks.
tell us what it is?
Yeah, okay. I mean, it's not too interesting. It's just so at first for my first recitation I did, it was very, very pre-prepared. Like I had a lot of content like on a OneNote document, and then I would like copy paste stuff that I like screenshots of other things that I want to talk about, and it would be me talking, and then we did a couple like practice problems afterwards. But then now I find it so much easier to actually just have a really brief outline on the OneNote doc, maybe like a type of differential equation and then a definition of that thing, and then like write stuff as I go, like lecturing as I go. So then I'm actually explaining things.
Okay.
And then like we do like one practice problem, and then we go back to the next thing, and at the very end we like do a jumble of practice problems where they have to figure out what exactly, what strategy you have to use, like based on everything before.
Professor Pranay.
Yeah.
Do you want to differentiate my equation?
Oh yeah.
I would like to, yes.
Great.
That is like the
Consent, guys. Consent is important.
That is like the least sexy way you can respond to that question, Pranay. God, oh my god, could you imagine? Like,
Dude, Pranay's gonna one day run into a girl. Dude, I swear, she's gonna be like, "Hey, do you want to head back to my place?" And he's like, "Yes, I would like to. Yes, thank you very much."
God, I just want to like follow Pranay around with like a camera drone. Just like, because dude, like there's just so much comedy gold just buried in his everyday interactions
as a TV show.
I swear to God, could you imagine just like some like fucking bombshell just like trying to seduce Pranay, just like, hey, so you want to come back to my place and differentiate my equation? And Pranay just standing there like awkward as fuck. He's like, I would like to, yes.
Okay,
grabs his laptop, opens OneNote. Yes, sir.
I mean, if you didn't ask me the question, this is how I would respond. But I feel like if someone asked me the question, ideally I would not respond.
She's just like, oh, professor, I'd do anything for an A. He's like, well, I'm glad you asked, because actually we're going to be going over differential equations in the theta function this week. So you really want to prepare on this.
So funny. Man, you know what's crazy though is because of all of the shenaniganry with COVID. Like literally, I have a hard time when people ask me like what semester of school I'm in. I literally have a hard time figuring it out.
Oh yeah.
Because like I'm just like trying to calculate the semesters, but then COVID hit, and I don't know what semester is which. But I've now realized we basically lost an entire year.
Yeah.
Of college. My sophomore year was fall was online. Spring currently is what I'm in, sophomore spring, and it's also all online, and it's just gone.
I mean, we're halfway done, basically.
Man, that seems so weird. That seems actually so weird. Because like we're almost have been in college as much as we have at West or Jasper.
It doesn't feel like it though.
Yeah, I know. It doesn't.
Like,
it's just, I don't know, it makes me kind of sad because it's like the year online, there's so many other things that I would have done if just stuff was happening in person. There are like things that personally like I would have set out to achieve.
Yeah.
But
like it feels like the stuff I was doing freshman year in college and like the life I'm living now, it's like almost like they're two different, like entirely different lives. Because like right now it almost feels like I'm back at like Plano West. Like I'm back in Plano, I'm back in my parents' house, like I'm talking to like all the same people, like all the same West kids, because now we're back in the same time zone. And it's like it's almost like hard to even remember what it was like being on campus. Like all the places I would go, like in DC, like all the activities I would do, all the clubs I participated in, all the classes I took, like just like the general atmosphere of like living in a dorm, like all of that is just like it's almost like that never happened. It's like it's just getting to the point where it like almost feels like a really detailed dream.
yeah, like you look back on it and you're like, it's just so fuzzy. And it's like this next fall, after like summer comes and the semester's over, we'll be going into our junior year of college.
Bro, that's so stupid.
Like that's so crazy to me.
I mean, there's even a chance that that's online.
Yeah.
Like,
Bro, I swear,
Yeah,
I actually swear to God, if that is online,
that is just so crazy.
It's fucking bullshit, man.
But
I want a refund.
At the same time, I will say, if that didn't happen, we might not be here talking about this stuff on the podcast. Like, we might not have had the time to pursue this more. Like there are good things that came out of it.
I don't know about you, but I have,
yeah,
I have
there's a
less
chance.
time than I did if I was going on person.
I mean, it's like, you know, you still have the same amount of work, but I think with the podcast, you know, every day or every week or whatever, we make time for it. Like we all, if we're like, oh, we're recording the podcast, then like I'll move around stuff so I can be like, okay, yeah, let's like do it this night at this time because, you know, I got to be free for it.
And honestly,
and then
it's not like we put like a super large amount of time into this. Like we just try and grab a couple free hours whenever we can.
True, but
yeah.
I mean, good stuff has come out of it. Like it hasn't been all bad. Like
I mean,
if you
yeah,
just
that's
look
for
at
sure
like
true.
all the bad stuff that happens, like you're never gonna be able to move on. Like in
Yeah.
anything.
I mean,
Yeah, true.
I guess like the one thing positive I would chalk up to COVID is I'm like 90% sure that if it wasn't for the COVID thing, Trump would probably have gotten the second term, and dude, I would not have been able to deal with that.
That is
Like I was thinking like just this morning, I was just like imagining like if Trump was still president, like what would his reaction be to like the fact that Texas is like, literally frozen over? I don't want to think about it. I don't want to think about it. You know, I just see like on the news, President Biden approves like emergency like disaster relief aid to Texas. I'm like, that's something a normal person would do in that situation. And I never thought about it again because I have an actual functioning human being in the most powerful office in the land.
Yeah.
To be fair, I
It's
think
a fucking miracle.
To be fair, I think you probably should have done it earlier. Like honestly,
I mean, like, yeah, but like, dude, Trump would never have done it at all.
that's
You would
true.
forgotten
Either
about
way,
yeah.
like the news coming out of the White House isn't newsworthy, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Right? It's like what you would hope a person would do. And I mean, I guess it's good in a way. Like COVID happening, it helped in the removal of Trump. So that is, you know, one
Honestly,
bright light.
I think it was the only thing that did it. Like I think he.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, he barely.
I mean, at least my
barely
opinion.
lost in some states.
yeah, for sure. It's also like I don't know. When we all went off to college, we actually all went to different colleges. So it's like when we were recording the podcast, it was also a time like every week where we would all just be like, "Hello,
Yeah.
how's it going?" But I think now because we're all just like at home all the time and we just talk on Discord anyways,
Yeah.
it's like
I mean,
yay. But
Well, like I
Uh,
enjoy
yeah.
that. I enjoy just
Yeah.
like sitting on.
I think
the
it's
That's
good.
fair.
And then we have structure as well,
Yeah.
you know. And we made it with this structure all the way for an entire year, man.
it's
And we
fair
have
enough.
people who listen to us. It's crazy.
Yeah.
I don't know who those
And
we-
people
you know
are.
what? I want to take the time right now. I want to say thank you to anyone who has made it this far into this episode and is continuing to listen to us on this podcast. We greatly appreciate it. And if you really do like it, you know, you can leave a comment sometime. You can.
Yeah.
I don't even know if you can actually
Follow.
like subscribe
You
to the
can
podcast,
follow.
or you can just follow the podcast and you know get updated when we post new episodes, which should be like pretty consistently. At least it's something we're working on. But you know, we're only a year in, so we'll see how it develops.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's just
That was
yeah,
very.
very
yeah.
sentimental.
You think after we graduate
sentiment.
college, we'll be more consistent or less?
Hopefully,
consistent?
I
don't know.
mean, I would like to think so, but I don't know.
Well, see, the way we do it right now is we just figure out a time we're all free. But I think like after college, we all might just be able to set aside like we can be like, oh, this time
because we
at
can
this day.
determine our own work schedules and stuff like. I mean, maybe Cobb has
Maybe
probably
not.
gone to med
Maybe-
school and
maybe
stuff
not.
like that. but,
Yeah,
like,
if Cobb ends up, with med school and stuff, Cobb. I don't know. I don't know how it's all gonna work in the future, honestly.
I mean,
but you know
the
what? We're
first-
recording
like,
now,
I mean-
and it's a good
The
time.
first 2 years of med school are just like basically college continuing. It's not like much different in terms of structure.
what about the stuff after that?
The stuff after that, you're basically working. Like you're going around with
Do
actual
you work
doctors and like seeing.
inside? Do you work inside that med school's like hospital or something?
Usually. Yeah, usually. And then you also have to. Then after that, you have to do another kind of training, which they call residency. And then only
Right.
after that do you get to like actually do stuff.
I'm not
We have
gonna
so many-
try and predict the
so many
future because,
trends.
like, if there's one thing COVID has taught me is that like you can't expect anything from the future. Like, you have no idea what's gonna happen next year. Like, it's
True.
it's
Yeah.
so what like I remember just like the mentality I had going into college. I was like, you know, it's college, fresh start. I'm just gonna like try and like revamp myself. Like do like a whole bunch of new things, like try new things, try new experiences, meet new people, right? Like, and then the world's like, ha, no, fuck you, COVID-19. You're going back to Texas. You're going back there for an entire year, and none of that shit actually matters because you're just going back to square one.
Square one, it is.
Mhm.
Yep.
Quite unfortunate.
Very unfortunate. But I mean, I don't know. I feel like after, hopefully, if things end up being in person in the fall, I'm definitely gonna come at it with like, I guess, a fresher, viewpoint. The same sort of viewpoint you had going into your first year of college. Is like, I have like 2 years left of like college, if you think about it, or just like undergrad at least. I don't know about like masters, where that's all going, but I know for sure there's at least 2 years left. So I'm gonna try and like do something with it, gain some at least new experiences, life experiences, stuff like that. So I mean, maybe it's not all bad, but it's mostly bad.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely don't think it's all bad. Like, but I just don't want to do it anymore.
I will say
That's pretty much
online
it.
classes have improved my grades quite a bit.
Yeah, but it's still not how I'd like to take classes, and
Yeah.
you can't like meet new people.
Yeah.
I know Pranay
Well,
has
I
a pretty interesting story about meeting people, but
Okay, I'll go to that story very quickly.
okay,
But one thing about like online classes, like I think it is much worse for high school students than it is for college people, because like for college people, if you're not like living at your house, which unfortunately is I think that's only me right now, but like you do see a couple of other people, and those are usually the people you'll be hanging out with in college because you're not like going every day to campus and like hanging out with
Mhm.
people. But in high school it is very, very different. Like you go from class to class, like half of class is just talking to people who are right next to you. Like it's not even like learning inside the class, it's just talking to the person right next to you.
Also, just like
And-
really, really quickly before you go into your story, like
Yeah.
college is mostly about the classes and the content in there. You have to learn it. But high school is like a lot of it is social skills and social stuff and like extracurricular. Like a large part of all of our high school stuff was like debate stuff. It was like far less about the classes, I think, than college.
yeah, true.
Yeah, like Jith and I don't remember a single thing about Ansted except that we played cards in it every day. Like
God fucking
Yeah.
damn, I hated that class.
Amsted's one whole other tangent. I'm pretty sure we talked about it in a previous episode, but
okay. So my other story, this is more of a life lesson from like for me personally. Like I've also taken it as a life lesson. Hopefully, this is life lessons for everyone else as well too. This happened last semester. I was working on campus. It was pretty late, and so I was walking back to my house. It's like a 15-minute walk or something. No, it's like around a 20-minute walk. But I just have my headphones on, and it's fairly cold, so I have like my hoodie up as well and my mask on, so you can like barely see me at all. I'm just minding my own business. I have my headphones on, playing some music, and I'm walking down the street called Craig, I'm very close to my house, so I'm not really paying attention to much. And then all of a sudden, these three girls they come up to me, and at first they say something to me. And I can't hear them because I have my headphones on. I'm like, okay, what the fuck? Why are these three people approaching me in the middle of the night? I'm like, to be fair, they don't look intimidating, but also at this point, I just really want to get home and sleep. But they approached me, and then I take off my headphones, and one of the girls is just like, "Hey, would it be okay if I got your number?" And I was like, "What the fuck?" They don't even know. Like all of a sudden, these random people are on the street. I've been pushed into like one situation where I just want to get home, into like this other situation where random people are asking me for my number, and my dumbass, like my instinctive response is just like, probably not, no. And then I just keep on going, walking. And then,
God.
right afterwards too, I was like, what the fuck did I just do, bro? Like, I was like, what? I should have just, like, what are they gonna do to me if I said yes?
Dude, this is exactly why I need like a drone just following Grenade at all
God.
times.
you just need to watch Pranay's life as a TV
Dude,
show.
it's so funny.
Like,
Like,
I
I
watch
ju- like, I
WandaVision when you
can-
can watch
I swear
Pranay
to God, Pranay is just like a walking.
Pranay.
he's just like walking office type content. Like,
Yeah.
Wait,
but
I
the
think
life,
this-
the
I
life,
think
the
this
life
story-
lesson
no, no, no,
here
I
is-
think the story needs a bit of context. Were they students or were they just like random people?
No, they look like students. They look like UPenn students instead of CMU students. Because they're wearing like University Pittsburgh shirts.
Yeah, okay. Because if there was like just a bunch of random people walked up to me, I'd be pretty freaked out too.
Yeah. If they were like full grown adults, I would have been that's definitely a no. But this. Yeah, okay, so the life lesson is you gotta take chances when you get them.
Not even taking a chance. They did all the hard work for you.
Yeah,
you just rejected them.
They also did the hard work too, man.
I was literally talking to Renee about this. I was like, rarely in your life is the girl gonna make the first move. Like, and I'm not just saying like your life as in like you, Renee, but as a dude, right? It's like more uncommon, much more uncommon for the girl to make the first move. Normally, you like if you want a girl's number, you gotta be like, I make the initiative. Right, to go get it. And I was just like, if it comes so easy, like,
swear to God, man,
just take it, right? Just like give her your number, but I don't know.
Dude, like in terms of initiative, like if this was D&D, Pranay just like rolled his D20 and got -1. Like,
yeah, whatever happened to D&D? We should do that again. I like that.
I don't know, you guys didn't have time for it. No, I'm just sad DM.
Rip.
I mean, we could restart
we should start that again.
Oh yeah, dude, that first campaign, complete. Just I was so bad.
Like, what do you mean? It's the most fun ever. This was like magic missile, all of this, like, yo, doggo, attack him. My doggo teleported and killed him and did all these sick moves.
I swear to God, like I remember when like I
had my heavenly smite.
I had this whole fucking story arc, this whole quest line set up. Like I did so much planning, and then like the first guy, I'm just like, all right, look, I'm just gonna have this guy come up to Pranay's character and give him the quest hook, right? And that's gonna get them.
Your first mistake. Yeah, hold on, your first mistake.
And then I'm just like, so like I get this guy to come up to Pranay's character, and then I'm like trying to give him, like I'm feeding him the quest hook, and Pranay's just like, I want to fight this guy. Can I get my dog to attack him? I'm just like.
He is a good dog.
That's a month of preparation down the toilet.
Well, honestly, I mean, I never got to see how that story played out, and I do want to see it because Noah has good writing skills.
Yeah, well, no. Here's the thing. Here's what I wanted to say. Is like when people are playing D&D for pretty much the first time. Like I think everyone in the campaign, it was their first time playing D&D, with the exception of myself. So, and obviously yourself. So, it's like.
People know what they're doing.
Whenever you're just into that role playing, like it's just fun. No matter what's really happening, no matter like where the story is going, like you just being another person and doing all these different things, it's just an enjoyable experience.
Dude, I swear to God, like that part where you
I can understand where you're coming from, right? But like
No, you're right though. Like I just had like these like super high expectations for how it would go. Like and I feel like, probably like every DM it probably starts out that way, but yeah, no, like after that I was just like fuck it, improv, and it did get better. Dude, like honestly my favorite part of that whole campaign was the fucking horse. Like I was trying to get you guys to buy horses and then like you were like, yo, what's the name of this horse? And I was like, sulfur? Like I just spat out like the first word that like popped in my brain, and you guys just like somehow decided that this horse like must be like the big bad villain. You're like, yo, sulfur, that's a pretty suspicious name, man. Like, can I try and talk to this horse? And I'm like, what the fuck? And then this was like, yo, I have a spell that lets me speak to animals. So can I talk to this horse? And I'm just like, all right, man. Like I just need you guys to buy horses so you can move faster. But if you really want to talk to this horse, I guess this is what we're doing now. You're interviewing a horse.
And then he ended up being part of it.
I was like,
the conspiracy.
I was like, dude, like I remember, like I was like, yo, this would be hilarious if I brought the horse back. And you guys were like, oh my God, it's a horse.
Dude, I swear.
And that was one demonic horse.
When you're improving as the DM, you can have fun with it too. I don't think it has. You can have like sort of major goals outlined that hopefully like, that's what they're pursuing.
DMing now. This is your first time.
Yeah.
Oh, I see.
Yeah, it was first time DMing. I thought it was pretty solid. Yeah, because you're also having to explain the game like as we go, right?
Yeah,
you guys obviously learn more and more, but it's like, what does combat?
Oh my God,
D&D
combat was so clunky the first time around.
Yeah, like when you're new to D&D, man, combat is the most like crazy thing.
When we fought that first like boss battle, I just remember I just wanted to Heavenly Smite him because Heavenly Smite sounded so sick, and then Jit was just sitting in the back of Magic mislinging them and did all the damage.
Well, no, that first boss fight is actually when I finally got my wand that gave me magic missiles. But be that as it may, if you are interested in seeing a spin-off of Stating the Obvious or D&D podcast where we, I guess, just play D&D, and maybe I don't know. Maybe we'll also have like a video aspect and upload it to YouTube. But
I kind of forgot that we had that idea for a D&D podcast.
Yeah, I mean, if it's something y'all as listeners are maybe interested in listening to, leave a comment. Let us know
For sure.
in some form or fashion, and we'll make it happen. Promise. Because honestly, like, we're all still quarantined, so
and it's also not just us. There we have guests with us as well. Will join us.
We'll have more people. It'll be a good time. Promise.
Also, we are going to be like uploading all of these podcast episodes to YouTube now under the same name, probably stating the obvious. So if you want to get them there, they'll be there.
Oh wait, hold on. I just saw this meme. I have to read it out loud. It's so good. Ted Cruz continues to be a trailblazer as he becomes the first Hispanic person to flee from Texas to Mexico because of ICE. It's so good.
That is pretty fantastic.
It is quite nice, I will say.
Yeah, well, with a very nice meme to wrap up the episode, I guess, thank you guys for listening. It's been a great year with all of you guys as well, recording this podcast. Not every week, but, when we can. I've had a good time. I don't know about y'all.
Yep, for sure.
This podcast is one of the few bright spots in this hell of a year.
Yeah, and
here's to the next year.
Hope you guys, here is to the next year. Hope you guys enjoy. Follow, leave a comment, like if you can do that,
and check out the new YouTube channel.
Yeah, when that's up, you guys should definitely check it out. It'll be worth your time. All right, catch you in the next one.